Each experienced investor will tell you the true cliche wisdom: bull markets make you money, but bear markets make you rich. This applies to both investors and companies in the crypto space. Now, I'll be honest guys, the more time I spend in these markets, the more I realize the data that stands out to me. These bear markets absolutely make you rich. Now, in order to do it, you have to fully disconnect to what your mind, your cognitive is telling you, and all those emotions that every single day in our lives invalidate the logic of what could actually truly happen if we just took a little bit of a risk. And it happens every time. You go back in time, the bear markets seem to be the place to put your money and just wait a year or two. Nobody wants to wait a year or two. And when things are going down in price terribly, when there's upheaval in the markets, people don't like to buy because you just think, oh, it's going to go down again 20%. Or what if it goes down again 50% or 70%? So in this video, I want to talk about kind of altcoins. I want to talk about it. Yes, it can be boring, but I think just looking at a very simple strategy, how you can actually make a lot of money out of coins just by looking at a very simple indicator, which is the relative strength index. Guys, if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe if you want to hit your crypto goals this coming bull run. And of course, you know, this is one of the strategies I want to apply. So we can see, for example, with Bitcoin, there were a few occasions in the past where if we use our relative strength index tool, what I'm going to do is just remove these particular lines now. And we're going to add some completely fresh vertical lines for this particular video. But for example, Bitcoin. What if we bought Bitcoin every time Bitcoin went under a certain level under its relative strength index? So these vertical lines reflect extreme fear in the market. They also reflect periods of, you know, massive crashes, black swan events that could have, you know, caused it. Here, for example, 2018, what caused that? July 2022, what caused that? What about March 2020? Well, we know what this one was. This was COVID crash right here. This one here would have been maybe Luna Classic crash or Sam Bankman-Fried with you know, the exchange. So we can see here, looking at these periods, it doesn't work every single time, but eventually it can work. So if we just have a little look at this right here, you can see if you bought this December 2018 oversold RSI crash just for Bitcoin alone, you can apply this to lower cap projects too, you would have made a 344% gain. If you then bought the COVID dip, which happened using the same strategy, you'd have made look at that, 11x. 13x. You'd have made 13x. Sorry, these colors aren't like standing out so much. I'll try and change the colors here for you. If we then got the next one, which is over here, okay, we would have actually been down for a while. If you bought here, you would have been down 40%. So there's that fear holding you back. But if you just literally held and didn't do anything else, and you still bought this region, you would be up by 2.7x. So yeah, interesting. That's just for Bitcoin. So let's now talk about Hedera, for example. 0.1, and I think overall, you know, this is another thing to look at. So HBAR has been around a while. It's gone through market cycles, so it's got a lot of data for us to check out, or at least enough. Now we can be on the weekly time frame here for HBAR, and there's not many times where this has ever actually gone into a sub 30 relative strength index, at least on this weekly. Only did it between May 2022, May and also January. So about 6 months it was sitting oversold, not doing a lot. Little do you know, that was probably one of the biggest and best accumulation phases ever. So you're listening to the relative strength index, you're looking at the RSI, and if you were to have bought you know, HBAR, Hedera, during this period, which is just this very small block right here, you can see that reflects exactly with this area here, the accumulation phase. It reflects with this region here. If you were to have bought that region, doesn't really matter where you would have bought, you would at some point have been up. Now, if you want to make this even more precise, you would be up 400% if you bought then. If you bought at the very start of the oversold period, you would have been up currently 44%. And if at live prices on this buy-in, you'd be up 2x. But if we actually look at the daily time frame as well and really break it down further to more recent events, you can, for example, see here of HBAR. Obviously, there's a big level of horizontal support here. And what happened recently was another RSI oversold period right here, that recent crash we had in the market. So you can listen to this. You can listen in on these nice areas where the RSI comes below 32. Let's also jot down some other times that this happened. So bear with me, let me get my vertical line over here. Why isn't it working? Give me the vertical line. Okay, so we've got the, what? No, wrong thing. So there's a vertical line there. We've got this vertical line here. We've got this vertical line here. We've got this vertical line here. So you can see, again, every single time is sub sort of 30 RSI. Let's just remove this. For now, we know that's an accumulation window. So to back test this, every single time we buy that oversold RSI, here you're seeing 22% gains. Here you're seeing 164% gains. Here you're seeing not as much, but still it's gains. 39% gains. Here you're seeing 90% gains. But the thing is, you're holding from these areas. You're buying in at each bottom. So you're kind of getting a nice average. You're buying that bottom, you're buying that bottom, you're buying that bottom, you're buying that bottom. So your average kind of starts to look like this. And then you have the opportunity to sell when things do get big. So it's all about creating a low average. If you're buying the lower RSI, that's where your kind of average entry could look. If you're buying the upper RSI, the overbought, and you're FOMOing in, then effectively you could be buying a trend line that looks more like this. And you can see, based on that, look at the difference versus the FOMO buyer. The FOMO buyer is the orange line, and the fear buyer is the green line. And you can see, no matter where you look, the FOMO buyer is always on the upper hand by about 20% on average. You're making way more gains just by buying the fear. So there's something I want to look at. Let's look at Ethereum very quickly. 7 minutes into video. Ethereum, obviously we've got tons of historical data. We're on a weekly time frame right now. So if we look at Ethereum very quickly, got two vertical lines when Ethereum hit an oversold level here for the price action. On the weekly time frame, this is a very rare event and very, very rarely happens. So what you can do is actually create an alert here. I could go add alert on RSI. And what I can do here is I can go less than. I'm going to put less than 32 for Ethereum on the RSI. ETH RSI sub 32 by now is my alert name. Boom. This creates an alert. So now if Ethereum ever goes down to this region on the relative strength index, I'm going to get a buy now email or alert come through, which is going to tell me, hey, Ethereum's at a really nice time to buy. It's time to have a look at it. So that's something you should also do, guys, is set those particular reminders. So if you bought ETH here at the oversold RSI, you're up 56x, which is crazy. If you bought ETH here at the more recent one, you would have made just 277%. So not as great, but the market cycles are offering now diminishing returns as the market capitals increase. Let's check also Quant. Quant over here, $97. Looking, again, interesting. Quant has gone through some cycles since 2018. Has had its ups and downs. Obviously, it's heavily faced with token dilution and an increasing supply, which is not that fun. Quant is a coin that has only seen the sub 30 RSI a couple times. You can see it here. If you bought that sub RSI, you would have probably made some big profits, massive profits. So again, the oversold relative strength index is telling you that with Quant, it's a fairly good time to be buying. So we can quickly add an alert here. So, we can do the same thing. Add an alert, click on the less than alert name. I'm going to put QNT sub 35 RSI weekly buy now. So I've got that alert, and that's something that's important. So we'll change the value to 30, less than 30. I'll actually make it 32 just so I know we're kind of getting close. Boom, I've got the alert in. Daily time frame. Let's backtest the daily time frame. Let's see what we can see here. Buying the oversold positions for this particular altcoin. You've got a very oversold period there. You've got areas that get close to being oversold. That's definitely very oversold. This one's very oversold. So you can see even on the daily, over the space of like a year and a half, it's only happened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. 5 times. You only had 5 opportunities to have a look at these oversold periods, but you can see also going back in time. Look, another one right here. So this is big stuff, and for me, I think it's a strategy I must deploy in the next bear market. In the next bear market, I must deploy it. You can also use it in the current bull market now. 50% buy up then. You can see here 26%. So it could be good for leverage trading as well if you're swing trading. Also here as well, you know, you're up 70%. Not the best example, because we're seeing ultimately a downtrend here for this coin, but again, the theory sort of works. But guys, if you're also here in the crypto space, you want some trading signals, I'm delivering over 500 trading signals per month with my Patreon group down below. If you want to make some extra money, check out the Patreon group, where you can find all the early insights, the straight to DEX launches, stealth launches, meme coins, next big ICOs, all that lot. It's all down below. You'll unlock all the VIP benefits in my Discord channel, so please do check it out down below, and thank you very much for considering. Thank you for all the continuous support. We've got hundreds of people right now, I think, subscribed to this. I can't remember how many. 526. So thank you, everybody. You guys are amazing. Solana, let's backtest the strategy with Solana as well. I think it's worth looking at. We're on the weekly time frame very quickly. Find all those areas where you're nearly over. Only happened once really with Solana, which was between this period here of sort of November 2022 to January 2023. And if you did buy then, I mean, safe to say it looks like, you know, you would have made a lot of money here buying here at $8. 30x if you listen to the relative strength index. If you just put the fear to one side and just said, screw it, I'm gonna buy this coin at this oversold region, the market stinks, everything's crashing, but I know right now that the downside potential is minimizing, which is expanding the upside potential. If you're buying coins that are at the top of their relative strength index, like, you know, just a few weeks ago, that upside potential is now completely dissolved. It's completely vanishing. Whereas the downside potential has now had its chance to open back up. So you've got to buy these coins on their lower thresholds. You've got to be buying when coins are hitting those events of fear. So we'll backtest the daily time frame here very quickly, because I also want to see what we've missed out on, you know, from avoiding these sub 30 RSI levels. Hasn't happened for a while, but you can see every time it's getting down there, it seems to me like there are big bounces. If you bought this one, big bounce, very big bounce of Solana, 2x. If you bought this one here, not as huge, but still 50%. This one here, big correction in the markets, 1.5x there. Big one here, man. Big one here. That would have taken you up like 10x. So as you can see, if you bought at any period here, your entry is going to kind of look like very nice average entry, and then boom, explosion to the upside, because you're buying the oversold regions as opposed to the overbought regions. So what I'll now do for Solana, knowing this, is set myself an alert at that 32 RSI level. So we're going to go here, we're going to go on the less than type 32, Solana RSI sub 32 by now. So that's something to also consider. Set these alerts on TradingView, guys. Set these alerts on TradingView. Don't miss the opportunity, because they only stay oversold for a very short amount of time, a day, a couple hours. Set the alerts, be reminded, stay in the know of what's happening in the market, because there's so much that's happening in the background that you don't know about. Data wise, you can't just look at the price and be like, oh, it's dropping. There's so much more. Just simple data can be really powerful. We can also backtest this with SHEU and just check as well, a meme coin, does it work? What we can see here for SHEU, there were 2 events of RSI down very low. You can see one event over here, which was like June 2023. You can see another event over here, which was June 2022. So June each time. If you bought and listened to the RSI on these oversold regions, you would potentially make some money. I'm going to add another one on the 34 RSI actually, because I want to be reminded at 34 RSI and also at the other RSI. So Shiba Inu sub 34 RSI buy now weekly. So I know it's on a weekly time frame. It's an alert there for me that if Shiba, oopsie, I screwed up this alert. It needs to be on 34. That would move it down there for me. Perfect. Now I know when Shiba Inu gets on a weekly time frame there, I can consider doing the same thing. Now Shiba has not really hit these oversold daily things for a while. Got close here, got to 30 RSI, but not low enough to make me pounce on it. But we can still see, just looking here, it would have been a wonderful time to buy. Of course, we didn't know when the major bull run would have happened, but there was a 5x on the table there as well for Shiba Inu. So this kind of does work, and I think next bear market, really consider looking and zooming out. Look at the weekly time frames. Look at what's happening when you really zoom out. Look at the bigger picture, find those areas of fear, and I think that can really help us grow and make some really nice DCA average sort of entries for the future to get into a coin nice and low and ride that wave up over the next year into the next. Because what you're waiting for, you're waiting to then find, it doesn't matter what coin you look at, you're buying down here on the RSI because you're waiting to sell in the overbought RSI. So you buy, effectively you are buying RSI low, sell RSI high. Sell here, again QNT, we can quickly look at the weekly time frame. Buy RSI low, sell RSI high, and that's where your money's coming in. Check for Solana as well on the weekly, on the daily, doesn't matter which one. Very, very apparent here, very obvious here. You are simply buy RSI low, sell RSI high. Now, maybe a lot of people would disagree with this. Maybe people would rather look at technical analysis in a much more classic, fundamental and strategic, complex way. But I think if you're just someone that doesn't want to put all their time in the market, but you want to look at something simple that can help you and have reminders on the go, this could be a way that really, really helps. Anyways, if you like this video, please like the video and let the world know about it so we can get more people learning how to enjoy the crypto markets and don't, kind of deploy themselves as exit liquidity by buying in at the wrong time, because that's what the whales want. They want you to buy on those green candle pumps. They want you to buy on those big weekly greens right at the top and chase those green candles. They want you to FOMO in. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Stay crypto safe. Remember, this isn't financial advice. Please do again have a look at my Patreon down below if you want to potentially grow your crypto portfolio and unlock all the tutorials, education, everything, and all the insights in my VIP and public also Discord channel. So down below for you. And thanks, guys. Stay crypto safe. Have a wonderful one.